It is so cold outside. It even snowed here in South Carolina, which is pretty rare.
No, stop.
And that put us in the mood for some yummy, cozy, warm soups. We've got a soup with an ingredient I don't think we've ever used before, a soup that is my dad's recipe that we've been making for years. And we've got a twist on a classic using an ingredient that Stephen is known to not enjoy. So stay tuned. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Along with our soups, we love to enjoy some nice, freshly baked bread, and that bread comes from Wild Grain, who is kindly sponsoring a portion of today's video. I'll tell you more about them later. We are expecting snow within the next 24 hours. That means it's very cold here right now, and soup sounds like just the thing to warm us up. Tonight we're trying a soup using something I'm not positive I've ever used before here in our house, lentils. We are doing the best lentil soup, according to the recipe name, and it had a lot of great votes, so we're gonna give it a try and see what we think. What'd you say?
I said, hand me the. That's what this thing is.
Look at the size of these daggum carrots.
Go big or go home.
I mean, look at that. Ridiculous. So he's getting started on peeling those. We've got some celery here. We also have some onion, like half of an onion that we're gonna chop. I did grab my chopper out because I want all the sizes to be pretty uniform. So I'm gonna have to cut these down because they're huge. And cut that in half. Will both of them even fit? Not really. Okay, well, there we go. So you need about 2 cups of chopped carrots. We've got that. Now let's chop some celery. We need a couple of stalks. We've got this carrot, that lovely carrot. We're gonna chop it too. I know my veggies, I promise. Look at there. So the recipe says to use kale. I got baby kale from the grocery store. It says to dice the stems. No thank you. I'm gonna take the stems off because that's what I do. If you want to dice the stems, do it to it. I'm just choosing not to do that. Isn't that beautiful? We got rid of all them stems. Who wants to eat that? Not me. That's crazy. We've got a large Dutch oven heated to about medium heat. We're gonna add some olive oil to the bottom so we can saute our veggies. We're gonna throw in all 3. Onion, celery, carrot. Oh yeah, there's a sizzle. So let's add some salt. About 1.5 teaspoons is what we're gonna go with. We need some pepper. I think we need some more olive oil. And we need like a heaping ½ teaspoon of cumin. A little to grow on. There we go. Let's stir that up. Oh, you know what? We need to add that smokiness that we were planning on adding. Hang on. I have a little extra something that we're gonna add. We're gonna add smoked paprika. I'll explain that in a little bit, but just a little sprinkle just to give it some smoky flavor. Now, we're gonna let this cook for about 8 minutes, really kind of soften those veggies up. That smells so good. So we have just a few seconds left. So that means we need to get started on the next step. You want to grate your garlic directly in there. It calls for 4 cloves of grated garlic. He's just using our microplaner to do that. Oh, look at all that. He gave up on grating it. It was taking too long. So we're just going to put it in the mincer and keep rolling.
Oh, wait a minute. It'd probably be helpful if I... Hold on. How
What?
do we... Oh, okay.
You're doing it.
Make
You just
sure-
put 50 cloves in there at once.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta... Ow, burn yourself.
Oh, gosh. This is becoming a comedy hour. All right. Now, let's move on. The reason we added smoked paprika is because I didn't have any fire roasted diced tomatoes. I thought I did. So you're gonna add a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. And then we need a couple of tablespoons of white wine vinegar. We need 3/4 a cup of lentils, green lentils that we have rinsed, which I have. Now, the recipe calls for 6 cups of vegetable broth. We're gonna do 4 cups, and then we're gonna do a little something extra. For added protein and flavor, we're going with a couple of cups of chicken bone broth.
Yay!
So I'm gonna add that in as well. We went in there and grabbed 12-ish fresh sprigs of thyme. You wanna bundle them. Ours are pretty much bundled, so that's good. We're just gonna throw it in just like that. We'll turn it up close to high, and we're gonna bring this up to a simmer. So it is coming up to a boil, and we're gonna add just a few red pepper flakes in because we like a little bit of heat. Add a little bit, and we're gonna turn it down, and we're gonna let this simmer covered for about 25 to 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. And then those last 5 minutes, we'll throw in our kale and let it wilt down. So I'll see you back here in about 25 minutes. It is time. I wish you could smell my house right now, y'all. It's unreal. But Now it is time to throw in our, you know what, let's go ahead and take the thyme out because that's gonna make it a lot easier when it's time to serve it up. It's done its job. Let's add in our kale, stir that through and just let it wilt down for 5 minutes or so. It's not gonna take long. I'm gonna pop the lid back on it and then it'll be time to eat. Hello.
Hey.
Eat. I'm starving. I want you to hurry up.
This smells delicious, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, here we go. Mmm. Oh, wow.
What?
Wow. That is delicious. That white or that vinegar or whatever it is that you put in there.
The white wine vinegar?
You're talking about enhancement.
Okay.
That is delicious.
It doesn't overpower it, does
No,
it?
it doesn't overpower it. It enhances it. Like it's definitely what you're smelling.
Okay.
Like it totally like lifts the flavors up.
It smells so good in here, y'all.
The lentils are like, they have a really soft texture to them.
Okay.
You know, just a little bit of texture, not much. The kale is cooked perfectly. It's nice and soft, but it's not like soggy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the chunky vegetables in here too.
Okay. Are they good and soft?
Yes, you definitely get the flavor of the tomatoes. The tomatoes with like the cumin flavor, and definitely garlic, man. You're talking about some garlic flavor.
Good.
And then that vinegar just, boom!
All right.
That is delicious.
Okay. My stomach is growling. I'll be back.
Man.
It's so pretty too. The flavor.
Yeah, powerful flavors in there.
I know we added the chicken bone broth, and I'm sure that does enhance flavors, but this would be a great vegetarian soup.
Yeah,
if you want to just do the vegetable broth. This is delicious.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous. It was
very strong, very bold flavors in there. It is tremendous. Highly recommend this one. And it's like, oh man, it's perfect for this cold weather too.
Oh yeah, and look at my soggy bread now.
It's gonna be good.
It is gonna be good. Thank you to Wild Grain for continuing to support my channel and sponsor a portion of today's video. So if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you've probably seen me show you some items and eat some items from Wild Grain. We love this subscription box. If you aren't familiar, it is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. Wild Grain partners with small bakers and pasta makers all over the country, and that just helps to keep the tradition of artisanal and nutritious food alive. So let me tell you a little bit about why Wild Grain. First of all, if you've never tried their croissants, and good news, if you join Wild Grain today, you can get croissants for free. I'll tell you about that, but those croissants are the best ones you'll ever eat. Let's talk about their sourdough bread. Now, you can buy sourdough at the grocery store, or you can make it yourself. I'm all for making it yourself if you know how to and you have the time. I don't know how to, nor do I really have the time to kind of learn how to do that. But if you're buying it from the grocery store, chances are they did not do the slow fermentation process, which is what they do with the small bakers from Wild Grain. Why is that better? Well, it's easier on your tummy and it can help lower blood sugar spikes. So that slow fermentation process is where it's at. And their sourdough bread is so delicious. Now, if you're gluten-free or vegan, they now have boxes for you. So they have the classic box like I get, or you can get gluten-free or like the plant-based, the vegan. Here's some of the pasta that we love. I don't know how to say this, tonarelli, maybe? I just call it spaghetti because it looks like spaghetti and that's what we use it for most often. We love having fresh breads and I've bought them from the grocery store in the past. However, you have to use it within a couple of days or it's no good. That's what I love about this. It comes to you frozen, you stick it right in your freezer, and then you bake it from frozen. You don't have to thaw it out. You don't have to think ahead of time. If you're starting to get dinner together, throw some bread straight into the oven, and you'll have fresh baked bread in 25 minutes or less. When these chocolate chip cookies bake, they're about as big as my head. No exaggeration. We recently tried this French butter for the first time, and we love it. Something new I'm getting in this one I've never seen before are their Parmesan herb biscuits. That's the great thing about Wild Grain. You can order pretty much the same things over and over, but they're constantly adding seasonal items, new items, limited edition items. So just check it out each time, and you can change up your box each time. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. I'm excited to try these sourdough baguettes. What a great option. If you want to give wild grain a shot, go to my link in my description box. Make sure you use the code Mandy30 at checkout. That gets you $30 off of your first box. Plus you're going to get free croissants. I told you about those croissants in every box. I think you will be pleasantly surprised once you try wild grain, and you'll be so excited for your next box. It is snow day. Although I don't think the snow has arrived here yet. We're a little nervous about it because it's supposed to snow and then put ice on top of that. And in the area that we live in, we had Hurricane Helene a few months ago. And so we're nervous about all of that heaviness weighing on the trees that are already unstable since that storm. So anticipating power outages is a little bit scary. While we still got power, we're gonna make some potato soup. I've made many potato soups here on my channel, most of which go in the crock pot. But I'm wanting this for lunch today, and this one does not take long. I shared this on my channel 6 years ago, probably. One of the very first recipes I ever shared. It's my daddy's loaded baked potato soup. It's almost like a liquid mashed potato. I don't know how to better describe it. It is so thick and creamy and delicious, and it's gonna be perfect on this cold day. So the recipe calls for 6 large baking potatoes. I'm just using what I had left in this bag. These are pretty small, so I'm going with more than 6. I need to peel all of these, and then I'm gonna use my chopper to get them all to be pretty small in size, but I'm gonna start by peeling. So now I just need to get these chopped. They don't need to be in large, you don't want them in large pieces. So that's why I'm gonna use my chopper. So they're all pretty uniform in size. And then after I chop them, I'm gonna put them directly into this big pot. Makes it a lot quicker and easier to use the chopper. I always have the chopper linked in my Amazon store below. I've been using this chopper for years and years and years, and I love it. So highly recommend, especially if you do a lot of chopping. If you do a lot of cooking in your house and you use a lot of fresh veggies that you wanna chop up, it is a great tool to have. Now that we have all of those chopped, we need to chop up a medium-sized onion as well, and it's gonna go directly in here with it. I would say this is probably more like a large onion, so I'm gonna use 2/3 of it. Okay, that's going in here. Let's add water, enough to cover all of it by maybe, I don't know, a 1/2 inch or so. And let's put it on the stove. Let's put this on medium high, bring this up to a boil. So I'm gonna put a lid on it just to kind of help. So this has come up to a boil. We're gonna let this just go until our potatoes are fork tender, maybe 12 minutes or so. We'll just check on it. Okay, these are done. Let's go drain all of that water off. Now this part is up to you, how much you wanna mash it. If you like chunkier potato soup, leave a lot of chunks. Or don't even mash it at all, really. Just barely mash it. I go about 1/2 and 1/2, so it's gonna help thicken up the soup if you mash some of them, but I do like some chunks left, so I'm doing that now. So in here, we're gonna add a 1/2 stick of butter first. So I've got that here, 4 tablespoons of butter going in. And also about 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Now you may have to add more to your liking, just depending on what consistency you want. I'm gonna start there, and let's just kind of stir that in and incorporate it. I did turn my this thing, whatever y'all call it, burner, down to about medium low. I'm gonna turn it back up to about medium. Let's add some salt and pepper. We're also gonna add in about 3 cloves of minced garlic. And then you wanna make sure that you are stirring this pretty frequently, because it's gonna bubble up and burst. And if you're not on top of it, you're gonna have a mess, and or you're gonna get burned because it's gonna pop on you. So just a heads up, we're gonna let this hang out for about 5 minutes. So as this starts to come up to a bubble, which it's doing now, like I mentioned, be careful, it will pop. We're gonna turn it back down to about medium low and let it hang out for a few before I add in our creamy ingredients to really turn this into our potato soup. Now we've got a cup of heavy cream going in, and we're gonna let this warm through and kind of come up to where it's bubbling. It is starting to bubble a little bit, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I'm gonna put the cover on it and turn the heat to closer to low and just let it hang out for about 10 minutes. So this has been sitting here just kind of slowly, just a little bit bubbling for the last 10 minutes. Now for the last ingredient, and we're just gonna let it heat through. And it's this entire 16-ounce container of sour cream, or 2 cups of sour cream. We're gonna add that in and stir it through and allow it to heat through, and then it's gonna be time to eat. This is one of the easiest recipes, and it comes together so quick. So maybe 5 minutes or so to let this completely heat through. I shredded some cheese. You could also put some green onion and or bacon on top.
It's time to warm up.
It is time to warm up. It was snowing just a little bit ago, but now it looks like it's just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah, it looks cold out there though.
Yeah, it does look like snow and it looks cold. So
Yeah.
Is this tater soup?
it is
It's
tater soup.
That's right. Mix this cheese up in there.
And he wanted jalapenos on his.
Yes. All right, let's get a bite without the peppers.
Okay.
Warms the soul right there.
It's so creamy.
So creamy. And I love the textures of the potatoes in there.
Yeah.
There's a little bits of potato that
Yep.
you can bite into, you
Right.
know.
And onion.
And onion, yeah.
Yeah. My dad has been making this recipe for I don't even know how long. As long as I can remember.
Good.
I used to get so excited when he said he was going to make it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's good even without the bacon.
I know. I'm sorry. He said, "You want me to make some bacon?" I said, "No. It's already ready already. Let's just go without it."
But that is really good. And yeah, you can top it with whatever you want. I mean, bacon, peppers.
Yeah. Act like it's a baked potato. Put whatever you want on top of it. All right. I'm digging in.
Oh,
It's so good. And then my sourdough bread has been just dipped down into it.
good stuff.
It is so creamy. This is exactly what I was craving today.
Yeah, I'm glad you made this. Good choice.
It is still very cold outside, so we are having another soup tonight. I was craving a taco soup, and I've made taco soup a gazillion times, so I was looking for a different way to make it, and this is a creamy taco soup using Steven's favorite ingredient, cream cheese.
Boy.
The only thing we're really changing up on this recipe is the fact that it does not call for any onion. So when we brown our ground beef, we're going to saute some onion along with it. The only other chopping we have to do is chop a red bell pepper. I understand that this is not red. I do know my colors, but our grocery store was out of red, so orange it is. I need to chop up about half of this, and I chose this soup because it's about a 30-minute recipe, which is exactly what we need because it's already almost 6 o'clock in the evening, so it's perfect. We want avocado as part of our topping, and this one is not quite ripe yet. It's almost there. So I looked it up online, and apparently you wrap it up in aluminum foil and stick it in the oven for 10 minutes at 200. It's supposed to help ripen it. We're gonna try that. Never done it before. Let's do it. We're gonna heat our large pot to about medium high. So I mentioned this has Steven's favorite ingredient ever, cream cheese. We are using the whole block, but the thing is you wanna make sure you take it out of the fridge while you're prepping everything and getting it ready so it can soften up. But you may wanna do like we're gonna do and soften it even more because it's gonna go in at the end and you want it to melt evenly and consistently kind of all the way through. You don't want chunks of cream cheese in your soup. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pop it in the microwave and just kind of check on it and make sure that it is soft enough. So my thing has softened cream cheese. So let's put 8 ounces. We'll go with that and then we'll check on it. So I've got a pound of ground beef going in. Along with the ground beef, we're gonna add in our chopped onion. I am soaking up some of this grease with a paper towel and making a mess. Our avocado is ready. We need to pull that out. So we're gonna add some seasonings. I have a half a tablespoon of chili powder and then a teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and cumin. All of that's going in, lots of good flavor. The recipe then calls for 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm gonna use about half of this container, and then we're also gonna use some chicken bone broth. So we've got 2 cups of that going in. 2 cans of diced tomatoes with green chilies or rotel. You do not need to drain those. A can of black beans that have been rinsed. And a can of corn that has been drained. We're gonna turn this up closer to high. We want to bring this to a boil. So I'm just gonna stir this around and let it do its thing. I may actually go grab the lid, trap that heat in there. In true Mandy fashion, I forgot an ingredient. It was still sitting over there. Our chopped bell pepper needs to go in at this point too. We pulled this out at 10 minutes. It is a tiny bit softer than what it was, but I'm gonna put it in there for another 10 minutes and see what we get. Now that this has come up to a boil, I'm gonna turn the heat down. We're gonna let it simmer here uncovered for about 8 minutes. Just wanted to show you, I did another I did the cream cheese, softened cream cheese one more time. It is extremely soft and we have cut it up. It's gonna be going in the soup here in just a little bit. But you just wanna make sure it's super soft. Now that this is nice and hot, let's go in with Steven's favorite ingredient of all time. This is what makes it creamy taco soup. And then we're gonna taste it after all of this melts and add any salt and pepper that we need. We haven't added it up until this point, but I have a feeling it'll need it. Are you so excited?
I don't know. Look here. I don't understand this, okay?
I know, okay.
Go ahead and fold it in. Stir it in there. Look at all those little pieces of it.
Okay, so we've just got to give it a few minutes and we got to continually stir. Okay, it definitely did dissolve, or not dissolve, melt pretty well, pretty quickly. So I'm going to continue to just sit here and work with it. Are you having more confidence now?
I mean,
I'm still seeing some. I'm working it through.
work it.
Work it, work it.
I mean, I see some flavors in there now.
Okay, I'm going to taste it here in just a second and see how much salt we need, okay?
Okay.
It needs salt, but not as much as I thought it would.
Look, I am not afraid of the salt. You're going to have to get on that salt. That's that lightweight salt. That's that lightweight. What's it called? Pink something or another?
Himalayan salt. Let's stir that in. See how we're doing.
Y'all, she had to get on that salt. She's got on it. I mean, got on it.
This thing did
It's
not
kind of
want,
janky.
it didn't want to work right.
Y'all
But
say that? Raise your hand in the comments if you say janky.
it's a word, right?
I mean,
We say it.
I've
we
heard
made
of
it a
things
word.
being junky.
Janky's a word.
Well, I mean, it might be now. I'll be truthful now. Be truthful.
That's good.
Okay.
No, that's good.
All right, I'm going to trust.
Trust. We did 20 minutes.
And that thing is still hard as a rock.
It ain't hard as a rock, but it ain't soft.
I got confidence, babe. You're going to do this right.
Really?
Yes. Look, I saw a fella do something on the YouTube. I want to see if, wait, I want to see if it works.
What?
I want to show you.
What?
He didn't use a knife. He just went like this right here. He just pushed right down. Look.
Look.
I'll be doggone.
There it came.
You just have to push right there.
Okay. Well, I
Look,
mean, that
gave
makes
it a
sense.
I gave it a belly button. Pushed it right in there. Matter of fact, he grabbed these edges right here and he pushed the whole thing out.
Well, his was probably softer than ours is.
Yeah, because this is already tearing.
Okay. Yep.
Well, we'll be all right.
This thing is not very soft.
No, but it looks good though.
I mean, it's pretty. That's for
It is
sure.
pretty.
All right, let me get a spoon.
You gotta work with what you got.
Well, that's what we're doing. Oh, I'm just everywhere. It's just going everywhere.
Well, that's okay.
It is not the softest
You still did a good
avocado.
job.
You know what though? If you like dunk it down into your soup, I bet it will soften up a little bit.
Mmm.
We'll see. What does that look?
You put cream cheese in this.
I did put cream cheese in it.
And you didn't get to sneak it in there this time. I saw it all the
Well,
way.
you were filming the whole thing.
Right. It does look good though. I will say this, it's a lot of a more creamier, milkier sort of consistency.
Uh-huh.
So you did a good job softening it up.
I did.
I don't like seeing those little speckles and those little chunks in there.
No, they all melted down, so
Yeah, this looking really good though. It smells delicious.
well, I hope it's good.
All right, let's give her a shot. That is delicious.
I'm so happy.
Wow. The salt is on point.
Thanks.
And then that lime that you squirted in there.
Yeah. Just elevates it.
Man, just elevates it, yes. So this has definitely got a rich, I wouldn't say creamy, right? Because
Yeah,
it's not
it is.
creamy.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Well, it
it's
kind
more,
of is.
well, it is a little bit, but it's more watery than it is creamy.
Okay, yeah.
But it does enhance the flavor. Like
Okay.
it thickens it, gives it a little bit more flavor.
Hello, Mr. Cream Cheese.
It's good, it's good. But yeah, I mean, it's not like, I mean, you can see it just kind of barely coats the spoon. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's not like
Not super
thick.
creamy, yeah.
But yeah, classic taco soup flavors.
Good.
And I love all the bits, the lovely bits.
Oh, gosh.
That avocado is hard as a rock.
It is what it is. You want me to get some Cholula to add a little extra spice?
You could. I
Alright.
wouldn't be mad.
You wouldn't be mad at that?
No.
Okay, I'm adding some Cholula to mine. He hasn't added any yet. There you go.
Let's doctor it up some.
Super delicious.
You know what I love? Even though it's a very different recipe than the traditional taco soup that I make, it still reminds me of that. Like if I would have done a blind taste test, I would have said this is taco soup.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more ingredients in this than you've cooked before, maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's...
No, it's about the same.
About the same, you
Yeah.
think? Okay.
In the traditional taco soup, I used taco seasoning and ranch seasoning.
Oh,
That was
okay.
kind of what made it stand apart. Which I wouldn't hate trying that in this, but
Yeah.
I love the cream cheese. And I'm so thankful that you did not nix me doing this recipe. I showed him the recipe earlier and he was like,
Well, you did good.
thanks. It's really delicious.
I trusted you, and then I verified.
Which soup are you going to be making first? And are you going to be trying wild grain? We absolutely love them. And don't forget, if you use the link down in my description box and use code Mandy30, you're going to get $30 off your first box. Plus, you're going to get free croissants in every box. We appreciate y'all being here, and we will see you next time. Stay warm. Bye.